Jesus said, "Notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Jezebel, which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and to seduce my servants to commit fornication, and to eat things sacrificed unto idols. And I gave her space to repent of her fornication, and she repented not." The title of this video is Narcissistic Bond, a Web of Deceit. What is a narcissistic bond? A narcissistic bond, or also known as traumatic bonding, occurs as the result of ongoing cycles of abuse, in which intermittent reinforcement of reward and punishment creates powerful emotional bonds that are resistant to change. To add my 2 cents to this definition and state that it is a bond that is created in the spiritual realm and can only be broken in the spiritual realm. Science says there is a chemical called dopamine that your body releases and passes information from one neuron to another neuron during the state or feeling we know as love or falling in love, alongside with other neurotransmitters that help contribute to the overall excitement we feel during this stage. During this transmission of the dopamine, you will be in a state of euphoria and gives your mind and body the feeling of pleasure. The irregular doses of reward are detrimental to your psyche and helps you to stay in a state of constantly searching or looking for that state of euphoria or pleasure again. Similar to how a crackhead is always chasing their next hit or high. It is because of the same chemical that is released when it comes to drug addiction, or the lottery or gambling. This industry keeps many people hooked by using this method. Now, spiritually, we know this bond is far greater than this. It is a stronghold that cannot be fully understood from our 5 commonly senses that we use. But we understand that the bond is with an evil being known as the spirit of Jezebel. And it's so tight that it somehow can have layers of evil beings or demons connected to it, or they come in a pact. This is why when you pray against the soul tie against the Jezebel spirit, you should pray against all the spirits connected to the soul tie. Otherwise, these spirits can seep back into your life. Intermittent reinforcement is an effective manipulation tool the spirit uses when it comes to abuse, because anyone can fall victim or prey to this technique. These spirits know mankind very well and know how to infiltrate your mind, body, and spirit by distorting the image of God you were created in the like of, and implanting a false, distorted image. Most likely, this image is only the tip of the iceberg of what the true image of Jezebel is. The narcissist or the Jezebel spirit knows that if they treated you well consistently, they would not be able to feed off of your energy for long, because the praise and admiration is similar to being served a snack when you are really, really hungry. It will only do the job for so long before you need a full meal. The narcissist knows that if they treated you poorly all the time, the narcissistic supply feed that they get off of this would only last for a short period of time, and they would run out from your source of supply soon. The narcissist uses this survival technique of intermittent reinforcement in order to maintain a steady source of supply. But your supply alone is not enough to sustain this evil being, and this is why they must keep a harem of multiple targets or victims to feed off of. The sooner you can come to terms with this, the better off you will be, because the problem in the relationship is not you, it's truly them. I know one of the things that kept me stuck in this stage of denial is that I was convinced that I was the problem, and many of the narc's claims are partially justified. Most of these claims were indirect to something the narc has done to me. It's called provoking, and the narcissist learns what buttons to push to get you to respond or act the way they want you to in order to help with their gaslighting and projection. The best lies are always mixed with a bit of truth. And this is how Satan has been able to deceive the world, because he understands that the human mind is more inclined to believe a lie with partial truth than a flat-out lie. This is why when you find out the lie of narcissism, you stick or hold on to some of the truths that were told and dismiss all of the lies. Making it hard to accept the person you are dealing with means you harm and is actually a narcissist. The euphoric state that we feel during love bombing is intoxicating. Many of us equate this feeling as to having never felt this way before with anyone else. I believe these claims are based upon the direct comparison of what we feel when we are in devaluation and discard. It's sort of a black and white thinking or mindset, courtesy and implanted by the narcissist. We know that the discard is the worst feeling that we have ever experienced. So therefore, I think our minds tell us that the love bombing state with the narcissist is the best experience. I actually felt this way during the time of my relationship to my ex-narcissist. But after detoxing myself from all the manipulation strongholds, I was able to sober up day by day. The longer you are sober, the more you come to realize that the illusion of the narcissist, of them being the best or your soulmate, is all part of the illusion of the Jezebel spirit. When dealing with the spiritual realm, there are many things we do not understand fully, but one thing can be assured of this. It's powerful, and therefore, we need to stay away from these evil spirits and stay in the light of God. If you find it hard to reason and accept the person you are dealing with as a narcissist, try this. On a sheet of paper, make 2 columns. List one column as good traits and the other column as bad traits. Now, before you think to yourself, I've already done this, listen a little further. All the good traits about the narcissist under the good traits header, and all the bad traits under the bad traits header. When you are done with this list, your list should be in balance with the bad traits outweighing the good ones. But now, I want you to focus on the list of good traits. I want you to go one by one through each trait and ask yourself the following 3 questions. They are yes or no questions. Number 1. Is this an unconditional trait? For example, the narcissist will display this trait regardless of how or who is watching, with that person or with anyone. If the answer is yes, write yes next to it. If the answer is no, write no. If you're not sure, don't write anything. You can come back to it. Question number 2. Is this a consistent trait? Meaning, are you able to witness them doing it on a regular basis? If not, if it's inconsistent or sporadic, only showing up when they want to portray a certain image, write no. If it's yes, write yes. Question number 3. Has this trait lasted outside of the love bombing stage? Have you been able to experience this trait during devaluation and discard? Write yes if you have witnessed this trait outside of the idolization or the beginning of your relationship. Now, if you wrote yes to any of these traits, these are good traits and should remain there. However, if you wrote no, these are counterfeit traits and should be moved over to the bad traits. Because underneath these traits lies an ulterior motive or manipulation, which are not good traits. They're just well hidden as being one. Being able to write these things out helps us to make sense and connect the reality of what a narcissist truly is. Because let's face it, it's a hard pill to swallow. If you need help with identifying narcissistic traits, have a look at my video titled 23 Narcissistic Traits. It is common to reason and bargain with yourself on the identity of the narcissist, which results in us excusing a lot of their behavior because we deep down want to be wrong about the person whom we love. Because after all, they had already planned out our future with them, so they can't really be a narcissist, can they? Future faking is another hard pill to swallow, because it's hard to fathom why someone would go out of their way to do these things to you. I mean, why you, right? Glad you asked. God created you in His image, therefore, you are a being with a light inside of you. Satan, the prince of darkness, wants to put out that light or dim it as much as he can. He hates you because of your light. Maybe while you were compiling your list, you tried to bargain with a few traits by telling yourself you have negative traits too, and therefore, you really can't judge the narcissist too harshly. Yes, you can. The negative traits of fear, anger, jealousy, etc. are all from the same source, Satan. It's not from God. Satan has more than just the Jezebel spirit to try and take our light from us. There are many more spirits where this genderless spirit came from. A narcissistic bond isn't easy to break, and many people will oversimplify the process by telling you to just leave. As if it were that easy. Why haven't you done it already? This can cause you to beat yourself up a bit because you start thinking, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just break up with the narcissist? This then leads you to believe that maybe you can't break it off with them because the narcissist is your soulmate. False. This goes back to the point that this spirit knows the hearts and the desires of mankind and knows how to portray this to us into a believable lie. See, the Jezebel is a soul tie, not a soul mate. Please pray against any and all soul ties you may have. Many people are unaware of all the types of soul ties that can be created out there, so please look into this further. It takes a lot of work to get to this point of acceptance of narcissism, which is when you are able to keep the mindset to leave and stay gone from the narcissist or go gray rock successfully. As long as there is doubt of their condition, you are susceptible to being hoovered back into the web of deceit. Believe me, I went back twice after knowing what narcissism was. Remember that acceptance doesn't mean you agree with the narcissist has done, but you merely recognize that they do have narcissism and there is nothing that you can do or heal or fix it. Just pray for their souls and do not try to bargain or reason with it. It is what it is. I've got good news for you though. This bond is breakable and that light in you is still there. The narcissist has done his or her best to dim it, but they can't take it. It is only something you can render. Do not render your light or soul. You can do this. If you don't hear it from anyone else, please hear it from me. You can do this. Even small baby steps are progress and closer to recovery than no steps. Get you back. The narcissist has hijacked your identity, and it's time for them to return it. And on that note, until next time, survivors.